Sometimes your mind isn't sick, it's just exhausted from holding everything together, tired of pretending to be strong, to understand, to keep going when every part of you is screaming for rest. We often mistake this profound exhaustion for weakness, and our need for silence as surrender. But this isn't failure. It's your body pleading with your soul to just breathe again. Most people aren't broken, they're simply full of noise, obligations, expectations, and invisible pressures that weigh them down. Your mind, which should be a peaceful garden, has become a crowded room filled with worries. It's not laziness, it's overload. And true healing doesn't come from tightening your grip, but from finally letting go. Even chaos has its own language. It's life whispering that something inside you needs to be reorganized. There's a specific kind of fatigue that no amount of sleep can fix it. The weariness that comes from hiding from yourself, from smiling while your soul is silently begging for a break. Overthinking becomes this elegant, self-inflicted torture. The mind that truly heals is the one that understands you, Dante, have to engage with every single thought. Some thoughts simply don't deserve your energy, and some memories don't deserve to be revisited. Letting go isn't an act of cold, nay, it's mental hygiene. True wealth isn't found in having more, but in needing less. Less noise, less hurry, less pressure to prove your worth. We live in an age that confuses volume with value. The louder you are, the more people assume you're doing just fine. But real peace doesn't live in the applause. It grows in the quiet moments. That silence, even though it can feel uncomfortable at first, is where the soul begins to reorganize itself. Your mind gets tired holding on to things it should have released a long time ago, people, roles, and past versions of yourself. Maturity is learning that sometimes walking away is an act of courage. Every loss creates space for something more real to enter your life. The universe doesn't just take away, it cleanses. What once felt like pain transforms into a powerful lesson. A healing mind doesn't run from chaos, it listens to it. It acknowledges fear, but doesn't bargain with it. It allows for tears, knowing they wash away what words cannot express. Healing isn't a final destination, it's a constant, fluid movement. You hurt, you heal, and by being present, you start to see the beauty that haste always hides. Simplicity becomes sacred: a warm cup of coffee, a quiet sunset, a single deep breath. There is no greater wealth than the peace inside your own mind. But before you find that peace, you have to navigate the labyrinth of overthinking and the desperate need for control. The only way out is to go through it. Pain itself doesn't break you. It's the meaning you attach to it that does. Change the meaning, and the pain becomes fuel. Your scars aren't reminders of weakness. They are proof of your survival. It's the very fact that you're still here. That's a victory. At some point, the mind starts begging for silence, but the world just answers with more noise. Produce more, feel less. You slowly become an anxious version of yourself, chasing everything except what truly gives you meaning. The healing finally begins when silence becomes your medicine and solitude becomes your friend. Solitude isn't emptiness, it's a mirror. It's where you finally meet your own voice, your own shadow. And when you stop judging what you feel, you can start to understand it. The shadow isn't the end. It's proof that light is nearby. Your so-called negative emotions are not your enemies. Anger is a guide, sadness is a teacher, and fear is a protector. When you can name what you feel, chaos begins to turn into order. You realize you don't need to become more you, just need to release what isn't truly you. True prosperity is harmony. You can have so much and still feel poor, or have very little and feel completely whole. The ego always wants to own, the soul simply wants to experience. When you let your soul lead, life stops being a race and becomes a dance. Pain transforms into a message, telling you you've drifted from yourself. When you listen, your heart realigns. Healing is the act of remembering who you were before you forgot. Before the comparisons, before you believed you had to earn love. You don't need to be more, just need to return to yourself. As Napoleon Hill said, wealth is living without fear. Carl Jung believed freedom is meeting yourself. They were both speaking of the same truth: wholeness. Wholeness doesn't eliminate pain. It changes your relationship with it. You might lose everything, but you will never lose yourself. Stops being a straight line and becomes a spiral. You keep returning to the same points, but each time you are higher, lighter, and wiser. The mind that heals and enriches learns to trust the invisible. It looks at chaos and whispers, "There's meaning here." It walks without a map because its heart has become its compass. And when the heart leads, the mind can finally rest. Fear softens into caution, doubt morphs into curiosity, and anxiety transforms into a gentle anticipation for what's to come. Nothing has ever lost everything, just evolves. Life becomes a beautiful dialogue between what you can see and what you can feel. You realize there's nothing left to prove. There is only this moment, the present hand. It holds everything you've ever been searching for. Your mind quiets down not because it gave up, but because it finally understood. All it ever wanted was rest, not just sleep, but trust. The trust that not everything needs to be understood to be peaceful. That some answers will only arrive with time. The mind that heals allows life to flow. The need for control is an addiction disguised as safety. And when safety is worshipped, it becomes a cage. Letting go reveals a profound truth. The universe was never against you. It was simply redirecting you. To begin again is the noblest act of the soul. It requires humility, courage, and faith that even without knowing where you're going, the path is still worth walking. What is truly yours has no lock. What belongs to you comes to you effortlessly. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. You become immune to the hurry and the constant comparisons because you understand that abundance isn't about having, it's about perceiving. The mind that heals lives in presence, where the divine manifests. In the breath, in the silence, in the now. Wisdom isn't about collecting truths. It's about unlearning illusions. The illusion that you must impress others to be loved, or that you must always be running to be worthy. You learn that peace is freedom. Freedom from the need to be anything more than you already are. A quiet mind doesn't need to convince. It radiates. It doesn't shout. It vibrates. When your mind grows still, life aligns. The right people appear, solutions unfold, and the struggle turns into a graceful flow. This isn't magic, it's coherence. In the end, the path of healing and the path of abundance are one and the same. Being whole where others just pass by. Breathing where others rush. And giving thanks even when there's no obvious reason. Gratitude is the universe's quietest yes. So, walk slower. Speak less. Feel more. Choose carefully what deserves your energy. Because the secret is simple. It's not the mind that enriches the soul. It's the soul that enriches the mind. Healing begins when you stop chasing what's already yours. Peace arrives when you stop fighting what is. And prosperity blossoms when you realize that nothing outside of you can complete what is already whole within. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and whisper to yourself, "I am here. I am at peace. I am enough." That is the prayer of the awakened, of those who finally understood that the mind was never the enemy. It was just a child waiting for someone to listen so it could finally rest. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If this resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more reflections on our journey inward. Till next time, be well.